Hello there, and welcome to another TOF news updates video where I talk about my thoughts on the game and information that I've learned, basically. And today we're going to be talking about the new server primarily. Before we do that, I'm just going to quickly mention the live stream that went down a couple of days ago. I was waiting to see if more info came out after the live stream before I talked about it on a video. But essentially, the live stream was really cool, is the takeaway. I liked what they showed. It was all a bunch of new content for the main server. They didn't really talk about the new servers at all. And I think it solidifies the idea that they are very much still focusing on the main server. I don't think they're just going to move off of it and focus on the new servers. I think that was the main takeaway. They showed off a bunch of new characters. They showed off a brand new area with some really cool looking environments and stuff like that. A bunch of cinematics that were really, really awesome. Despite the fact that it was all in Chinese and I didn't really understand a lot of what was going on, it looked really cool. And I was very much it got me excited to play the game again, which obviously is the purpose of the live stream to begin with. But yeah, it worked. It all looks amazing. All the new characters look really cool. And I am excited to see how it all is in game. It looks like that's the other thing. It looks like they are going to be adding a lot more dual element characters into the game, which is good because it is making the elemental resonance system a little bit more freeform. Like you can sort of comp together different characters a little bit easier without having to worry too much about being like, oh man, I don't have two flame characters, or oh man, I don't have two frost characters, or so on and so forth. I like that because the next character is going to be physical flame, just like Zeke was. And the character after that is going to be Ice Volt, which again, another dual element combination, which is really good. So I have nothing but good things to say about the live stream, basically. I would say really good job on all of that. Everything they showed off looked fun, everything that they talked about was good. They mentioned in the text, I had to look this up online, because obviously I can't read Chinese, but they mentioned in the text that one of their main focuses is going to be buffing the old weapons as well, which is really nice. I'm super glad that they are actively looking into that and trying to make it better, because it is a legitimate problem. And I think if they can solve it, it will alleviate a lot of the stress that a lot of players like myself are experiencing. I say stress. It's not really stressful. It's just a little bit annoying. But yeah, so hopefully soon we'll be able to use some of the older weapons again, and they'll be sort of a lot more relevant to people who don't have a million hours to put into the game to make them relevant. Yeah, that would be really good. I would very much enjoy that. So yeah, basically it got me excited to play TOF again, which is weird because I'm still quite far away from actually being able to experience any of the new content. But it made me excited nonetheless. So yeah, bravo to the team for that live stream. It was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed watching it, and I'm looking forward to whenever the next one is. Right, that's it for the live stream. We're now going to talk about the Reboot server and the new bits of info that I've learned about that. The way that I've gotten this info is basically there's a bunch of Chinese content creators that have been given access to a test build of the server. And again, I can't read Chinese, so there's going to be some stuff that I've missed, and a lot of the stuff I either had to translate myself or look up other videos to figure out what the hell was going on. But I'm going to do my best now to just sort of say a few things that we've learned, basically. So first things first are the things that we already knew but are now confirmed. So weapons are a lot more balanced on the new server, to the extent that you genuinely probably can use pretty much everything. Even SR weapons, probably fine to use in a lot of the content. So that's great. It's basically confirmed that is all good. And that is kind of working roughly how it was sort of originally leaked. So yeah, that one is a massive W for the new server. And I think that's a good thing for people to look forward to, because it'll increase build variety, it'll make it so that all the weapons get use, it'll make it so people want to pull on the standard banner as opposed to just pulling on limited banners all the time. And I think it will just increase income for the game itself, because people will be buying gold nucleuses as well as red ones, which is great. And yeah, I wish that they took that philosophy with the main server as well, because I genuinely think that they would make more money that way rather than just power creeping every character that comes out to make people feel like they have to buy it. But yeah, so yeah, that's a good change. The second change that we already knew about but is confirmed now. Elemental resonance is definitely gone. There's no sign of that anywhere. So you can comp together whatever elements you want and not be penalized for it. If you want to have Crow's Daggers with King's Scythe and Kokorita's Staff, you go ahead and do that, and you're not going to be punished for it. So that is a good time. That is a good change. There's nothing bad to say about that. The next thing that I don't think there's anything bad to say about is the gear changes. So, sorry, is it equipment or gear? I can't remember what they call it now. It's the gauntlets, the hat, the chest piece, all that kind of stuff. They're changing that so that the stats are a little bit simplified, by which I mean they're removing the different elemental attacks. I'm not entirely sure whether it's just gone or whether they're replacing it with just a general elemental attack stat. Basically what this means is you won't be having to look for specific flame attack, volt attack, frost attack. That has either been removed or it's been replaced by a general elemental attack stat, which would apply to all elements. What this basically is going to mean is that gear farming is a lot more reliable and a lot simpler. It means you're probably not going to have to grind as much to get the perfect piece of gear, which I think is a good change because I don't particularly find grinding for gear to be too much fun. I mean, I know you do get gear quite regularly in TOF anyways if you do all of your weeklies and stuff, but like, yeah, I think it's going to reduce that grind. It's going to make the gear system a little bit more accessible for people. It's just going to streamline the whole process of gaining power, basically, which is good. The information that I read said that gold nucleuses would be appearing on the minimap now, which is going to make finding them in exploration a lot easier. I'm going to go ahead and make an assumption that when it said gold nucleuses, maybe it just meant all of the nucleuses, because I don't really know why they would only do it for gold ones, because there's obviously red ones and black ones as well. I don't know, maybe they'll be on the map, maybe they won't be, I don't really know. But that is a change that's definitely happening. There's going to be a little icon on the minimap to help you find nucleuses, basically, which is cool. Good change. What's the next thing? Oh, yes, another bit of information that we didn't know. So the way that weapon power is going to work now is changing a little bit in the new server. So weapon power, your character's power from weapons is going to be calculated individually of one another. So let's say you have Crow's Daggers leveled up to 100, and you've got Kokorita's Staff. I'm really obsessed with these characters for some reason. And Kokorita's Staff at level 1. Kokorita's level 1 Staff is not going to affect Crow's level 100 daggers in any way, shape, or form. So, like, literally, you only need to worry if you're going to be using Crow as a DPS and you just want to get Crow's numbers higher. Crow is the only character you need to level, kind of thing, to get his numbers up. This doesn't mean you're not going to have to level up any other character, though, because support characters obviously will still be giving you bonuses based on their level. So this is kind of a weird change for... I mean, I guess it's making the early game a bit more accessible is what it's doing, because it's meaning that players will only have to build one character to begin with. But then obviously as you go into the later game, you will still have to build your supports and things like that, because you're going to be relying on their different buffs that you get from using them, and a lot of those buffs are going to be affected by things like level and stuff like that. So especially like healers and stuff like that, you'll definitely have to still level those up because your healing is going to be affected by how powerful they are. So it's a interesting change. I think the idea again is focused around accessibility and just making it so that you can kind of use whatever you want whenever you want. And I'd say it's probably positive. Like, it's not a massive change, but like it's something. They said, going back to gear briefly, they said that the gear leveling system has changed a little bit as well. I didn't really understand a lot of what was going on here because it was very stat heavy, and obviously again it's all in Chinese. It seems as though weapon level cap is going to be changed on the new server to begin with, and they're going to slowly add more levels back onto it over time. I assume they're doing this to simplify things at the start, to make it a little bit easier to balance, maybe. I don't fully understand what was going on there, but it's something. Um, it's changing, and yeah. I mean, the thing is we don't know how enemies are going to be scaled really on this new server. So like, it's kind of hard to say what difference it's going to make, but I'm sure it will make a difference. I've got to be honest with you. My general takeaway from this new server is that it's less of a TOF 2.0. It's less of a TOF reboot, and it's more of a. It almost feels like a test server, but like a kind of a really wacky test server. Like, it feels like they're just gonna throw. Oh, I just thought of something else they've changed that's huge. So joint operations. I'm sorry, I missed a bit. Joint operations are going to be way harder for solo people, to the point where it might be really difficult for you to complete them on your own. This is. I can see why they did this change. I don't know whether I like it or not. For console players specifically, it might be a bit sucky because there isn't a player base for us to matchmake with to be able to do joint operations if we can't do them solo. Like, the only reason I can even do joint operations at the moment is because I can solo them. And if they obviously change that, then joint operations are just going to be dead. So I really hope that doesn't come over to the main server. I really hope that's not something that they transfer over at any point. Yeah, that's about it, I think. I think that's about it of all the things that I've learned. But those are the things that I have learned. The other thing to maybe mention is we don't really have a time frame still for the server. It's still very much up in the air. It kind of seems to be like they're still testing, and they're still sort of like figuring out the finer details. It kind of seems like they're very much like open to changing things still quite a lot. And they're obviously still working really hard to make it as like playable for everyone as they can. We also still don't have any information on whether or not it's going to be available to global and PlayStation servers, or whether it's just going to be a CN thing. I would hope that they're doing it for everyone, but it wouldn't surprise me if maybe PlayStation don't get it, but I mean, global, they must give it to global, surely. I don't know. But, I mean, it's possible that I won't get to play it on PlayStation, who knows? Because, I mean, as I say, the player base on PlayStation is so small now, it's like, yeah. But, I mean, I don't know. Like, the player base on PlayStation could actually, like, change for the better soon, actually, a little bit, because they're actually merging all the servers together on PlayStation soon, which is something they should have done ages ago, but, they're basically making it so that every region has one server now. It's like a big server for everyone. So like it'll be like Europe will have its own server, like so on and so forth. All the different places will have just one server. It's not like at the moment I think there's 5 or 6 for each region, which is like overkill by miles. So yeah, it's being reduced to one. So we're going to be able to all play together on the main server, which is nice. And it's a good first step to making it so that TOF is a bit more playable again. Maybe I'll actually be able to do joint operations again. Like, sorry, maybe I'll be able to do the end game content again. But we'll see, we'll see. But yes, my overall opinion of the new server is basically that, yeah, it seems to be this kind of test server where they're sort of like throwing slightly more crazy ideas out there, seeing what people think of different ways of playing the game. And like, they've said basically that they're interested in potentially moving some of the features from the new server over to the old server, or the main server, should I say, because they are very much still thinking of the current TOF servers as the main servers, I think. It doesn't seem like they're going to be giving up on them anytime soon or anything like that. It's like main server seems to be the focus. Like the ones we're playing on at the moment are definitely seeming to be the focus. But yeah, if they can get some good features like ported over, that would be nice. I do generally think a lot of the like stat stuff on the back end could be quite nice just over on the main server. Like, because I think the way it works at the moment is just busted, and it's just not great for anyone who doesn't want to be pulling on the gacha banner like all the frigging time. So yeah, I mean, like, you know, I think it could work. I think people would still spend money on the game if they did bring over the changes, because it means that even though the new banners might be a little bit less desirable, you will feel more compelled to pull on the older banners, which at the moment is obviously a bit of an issue, because, like, why would I pull on the older characters when the newer ones are so much better, you know? But yeah, my main takeaway, I think, is that I don't actually care as much about the new server as I thought I did. I think it's a very good thing. I think that the new server is a great idea. I think that if they can take good things from it, it's amazing. And it looks as though they are looking at everything positively. I just died there. It's amazing. It's basically everything that I have learned has made me a little bit more happy to go back into TOF again. I'm really looking forward to playing more TOF, which has not been a feeling for a while. I think that literally everything that I have heard over the last few days has been good. Regardless of whether we can get server transfer, which I think would be a very complicated thing if they were to do something like that. I don't think we are going to get server transfer, by the way. Like, I think that the new servers are going to very much be their own thing, because they are so different. But we'll see. I might be wrong. They might be able to reimburse you for pulls or whatever. That was something someone in the comments suggested, that they could just reimburse your pulls. I don't know. I'm not really too sure how they'll handle it, if they'll handle it at all, whether it will just be its own thing. But it does seem as though it's very much a separate thing. See how quickly my flute weapon just destroyed that boss? That's the kind of thing you need to fix. You need to fix that Hota. Hota? Hota? Is it? I've heard people call it Tata. I don't know if that's how you say it. I'm sure someone in the comments can tell me. But yeah. Basically, yeah, all positive. I'm looking forward to more TOF, and I'm really looking forward to maybe making some more content on it again. It's been really nice, by the way, reading everyone's comments, like all the stuff that people are sort of adding and saying. It's all really good stuff. I'm really liking that everyone is quite chill in the comments. I think that everyone's being really nice and just generally trying to be helpful, as opposed to like spam commenting or anything like that. It's all just, yeah, it's all really good stuff. And yeah, it's been really enjoyable to just sort of like reply to people. I know my responses can be a bit basic sometimes. And if they ever are, it is literally because I have no time. I'm sorry. But yeah, I do try and reply to as many as I can. If I miss you, I am really, really sorry. I don't mean to miss you. There's one comment that I missed a reply to, and I can't find the damn comment now. It was giving me some advice about my healer, and they were saying that Fiona is not actually as good as Kokorita and stuff like that. I did read your comment, and I've absorbed it. And thank you very much for the comment. I cannot find it again to frigging comment back. Right, I am out of recording time. So, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Farewell.